History of London. At this point, when you consider London, you may think about the thriving city it is today, the beautiful sights, the popular spots to dine in, and its rich downtown green spots. Be that as it may, London is probably one of the most ancient cities on Earth and is covered in secret and legend. Since London is the capital, it will become evident that it assumes a significant part in many occasions throughout the entire history of London, of the whole country, and even throughout the globe. It was initially created by the Romans. Legend directs that the city was founded on the banks of the River Thames by Brutus of Troy after he crushed Gog-Magog, old monsters who were locals on the island in around 1000 BC. Here we will briefly explain London's history, fun facts, and the well-known famous historical events which happened in this magnificent spot. So we should dig into this old pool of London history data and find the secret features to a particularly regarded and well-known city. Timeline history of London. 50 to 300 AD. Foundation of London, Londinium. The oldest foundation of London, Londinium, was driven in 50 AD when the Roman ruler of Britain, Ostorius Scapula, orders to construct a lasting base on the north bank of the Thames. In 125 AD, Londinium was destroyed by fire, and the reason for the fire is believed to be accidental. After a period of 200 AD, London Mint was set up in 290 AD. Carausius has become ruler of Britain. To impose his autonomy from Rome, the main mint is opened. The mint was likely shut in 326 AD. 604 to 878, St. Paul's Cathedral built. St. Ethelbert Cathedral was worked by Mellitus, a priest who went with St. Augustine to Britain. The cathedral is committed to St. Paul. It was a breakdown by fire in 675 and 961 by Danish trespassers. In 878, King Alfred recovers London from the Danes, as Alfred was a king of Wessex from 871 to 899. 1067 to 1176, London gets a sanction from William. 1067 was an year when London gets a sanction from William the Emperor. In a sanction written in Anglo-Saxon, he gives the city of London the privilege to the opportunities and autonomy. In 1078, the well-known London White Tower was founded, which was controlled by Gundulf, Bishop of Rochester. Thereafter work began a stone bridge across the Thames, changing a prior wooden bridge in 1176. 1397, Dick Whittington becomes mayor. Richard Whittington, a rich London mercer, is selected as a mayor by the king. Whittington is chosen for 3 further events. Having no beneficiaries, he utilizes his wealth to build up various charitable associations, just as giving assets to fix Newgate and found a library at Guildhall. 1483, Princes in the Tower. 12-year-old King Edward V need to have been delegated ruler after the death of his father Edward IV. Instead, he and his sibling Richard, Duke of York, are restricted to the Tower of London, while their uncle accepts the seat as Richard III. After this year, they are never seen alive again, and no one realizes what happened to them. 1569, drawing of the first lottery at St. Paul's Churchyard. The primarily recorded lottery has been drawn. The draw occurred in a solid structure parallel to the west gate of the cathedral. 40,000 parcels were drawn, and the prize cash comprised of plate, embroidery, and money. 1571, the opening of the Royal Exchange. Thomas Gresham's Royal Trade is administratively opened by Queen Elizabeth in January. It is a spot available to be purchased of all sorts of products, gorgeously put away with collections. 1600, East India Company founded. In 1599, when the Dutch business model on pepper sent the value taking off from 3 shillings to 8 shillings a pound, the London businessmen framed a relationship to build up their own exchange with the East Indies. The next year, the Company and Merchants of London trading with the East Indies is given a sanction. 1659, first check issued at a London bank. Nicholas Vanacker turns into the primary individual to draw a check on a London bank. The check for £10 is pinched on Messrs. Clayton and Morris of Cornhill. 1753. Elizabeth Canning disappears. 19-year-old Londoner Elizabeth Canning disappears on January 1, 1753 and returns on January 29, guaranteeing that she had been grabbed. She in the end blames one Mary Squires for the crime. 1773. Stock exchange established. A crew of brokers has purchased a structure in Threadneedle Road. It is expected to utilize it as a stock exchange. 2 boards have been made to oversee it, a committee of proprietors and a committee for general means. 1855. London's first pillar box. The concept of a column box is prevalently credited to the author Anthony Trollope, who worked for the post office. London's first column box was at the edge of Farringdon Street and Fleet Street, and there were 10 varieties per day, between the long durations of 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. 1897. Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. Sovereign Victoria shows up at the means of St. Paul's Cathedral for help need on June 22 to remember her rule of 60 years. 1915. Zeppelins over London. While the First World War is being battled down and zones of France and Flanders, another and frightening danger to Londoners come from the skies. The German aircraft, or Zeppelins, are difficult to move and control but still succeed in striking London. Interesting facts about London. London is an interestingly exceptional city. No surprise why a great number of unfamiliar excited travelers, students, and permanent residents go to London each spending year. Its long and fantasy-like history uncovers itself in regular life in its building architectures, in its social culture, diversity, and mind-boggling stories. Big Ben isn't the name for the pinnacle. It is a typical mix-up. However, Big Ben is not the name for the iconic tower in London. London is the smallest city in England. It covers just 1.2 square miles and has a huge population of around 8.982 million people. London is a significant cultural, main historical center and has 170 amazing museums. Couldn't have missed around there. An exceptional statue showing 2 mice eating a piece of cheddar is known as the smallest sculpture on the globe is in London. Dying in Parliament isn't illegal and is a true myth about it. There are rarely some other spots in the world more culturally diverse than London, like 300 above languages are spoken in London. Roman life partners kiss their spouses on the mouth toward the day's end. London local buses were not generally red, and the red buses are without a doubt the most ordinary thing that your mind partners with London. In many countries, you just need a driving permit to work as a taxi. Be that as it may, this is clearly not the situation with London, and it will be hard to be a dark taxi driver here. Situated in the region of Southward, central London, the Shard is the tallest structure in the EU and the 5th tallest in whole Europe. There used to be 6 ravens in the London Tower. They even had an additional raven in their royal residence in case of the 6 ravens took off. As per the most state-of-the-art assessment, more than 8.7 million individuals dwell in the UK's capital. Accordingly, London is the biggest city in the UK by population. More than 80 tycoons live in London, making it the city with the largest number of rich people around the world.